Hello, here is your daily devotional today, straight from the book Open Heavens by Pastor E.A. Adeboye, to help shape your day and guide you as you navigate through. Please follow us, subscribe, like, share, and click the notification bell for more of our contents. God bless you. Open Heavens, 3rd February 2026. Tuesday Daily Devotional by Pastor E.A. Adeboye. Dealing with demonic obsession. Memory verse. No man that warreth entangleth himself with the affairs of this life, that he may please him who hath chosen him to be a soldier. 2 Timothy chapter 2 verse 4. Bible reading, Judges chapter 16 verses 1 through 21. I'll read from the New Living Translation. One day Samson went to the Philistine town of Gaza and spent the night with a prostitute. Word soon spread that Samson was there, so the men of Gaza gathered together and waited all night at the town gates. They kept quiet during the night, saying to themselves, "When the light of morning comes, we will kill him." But Samson stayed in bed only until midnight. Then he got up, took hold of the doors of the town gate, including the 2 posts, and lifted them up, bar and all. He put them on his shoulders and carried them all the way to the top of the hill across from Hebron. Some time later, Samson fell in love with a woman named Delilah, who lived in the valley of Sorek. The rulers of the Philistines went to her and said, "Entice Samson to tell you what makes him so strong and how he can be overpowered and tied up securely. Then each of us will give you 1,100 pieces of silver." So Delilah said to Samson, "Please tell me what makes you so strong and what it would take to tie you up securely." Samson replied, "If I were tied up with 7 new bowstrings that have not yet been dried, I would become as weak as anyone else." So the Philistine rulers brought Delilah 7 new bowstrings, and she tied Samson up with them. She had hidden some men in one of the inner rooms of her house, and she cried out, "Samson, the Philistines have come to capture you." But Samson snapped the bowstrings as a piece of string snaps when it is burned by a fire. So the secret of his strength was not discovered. Afterward, Delilah said to him, "You've been making fun of me and telling me lies. Now, please tell me how you can be tied up securely." Samson replied, "If I were tied up with brand new ropes that had never been used, I would become as weak as anyone else." So Delilah took new ropes and tied him up with them. The men were hiding in the inner room as before, and again Delilah cried out, "Samson, the Philistines have come to capture you." But again Samson snapped the ropes from his arms as if they were thread. Then Delilah said, "You've been making fun of me and telling me lies. Now tell me how you can be tied up securely." Samson replied, "If you were to weave the 7 braids of my hair into the fabric of your loom and tighten it with the loom shuttle, I would become as weak as anyone else." So, while he slept, Delilah wove the 7 braids of his hair into the fabric. Then she tightened it with the loom shuttle. Again she cried out, "Samson, the Philistines have come to capture you." But Samson woke up, pulled back the loom shuttle, and yanked his hair away from the loom and the fabric. Then Delilah pouted, "How can you tell me I love you when you don't share your secrets with me? You've made fun of me 3 times now, and you still haven't told me what makes you so strong." She tormented him with her nagging day after day until he was sick to death of it. Finally, Samson shared a secret with her. "My hair has never been cut," he confessed, "for I was dedicated to God as a Nazirite from birth. If my head were shaved, my strength would leave me, and I would become as weak as anyone else. Delilah realized he had finally told her the truth, so she sent for the Philistine rulers. "Come back one more time," she said, "for he has finally told me his secret." So the Philistine rulers returned with the money in their hands. Delilah lulled Samson to sleep with his head in her lap, and then she called in a man to shave off the 7 locks of his hair. In this way, she began to bring him down, and his strength left him. Then she cried out, "Samson, the Philistines have come to capture you." When he woke up, he thought, "I will do as before and shake myself free." But he didn't realize the Lord had left him. So the Philistines captured him and gouged out his eyes. They took him to Gaza, where he was bound with bronze chains and forced to grind grain in the prison. May the Lord bless the reading of his words. Message: when a fellow is obsessed, it means that the person's mind has become completely preoccupied with someone or something, such that the fellow loses control of his or her emotions concerning that person or thing. Most cases of obsession are demonically induced and often led to the destruction of the victim unless God intervenes. For instance, some people are obsessed with food. They can never stop eating. If a believer is in this situation, he or she will be unable to fast and will become an easy target for the enemy. Some people's obsession is alcohol. They cannot stop drinking. Substance abuse and uncontrollable sexual desires are other forms of obsession. Going by today's Bible reading, we can say that Samson's obsession with women was what destroyed him. Excessive sleeping is another obsession that some people have. The Bible says that if a fellow loves sleeping too much, he or she will end up in poverty. Proverbs chapter 20, verse 13. The devil often turns people's inordinate affections to obsessions aimed at destroying them. I recall the story of a teacher who had a bicycle. He was so obsessed with his bicycle that whenever he got to a muddy part of the road, he would come down from the bicycle and carry the bicycle across the muddy portion of the road. When a person becomes obsessed with someone or something, the enemy can make that person a slave through that avenue. He will usually make the person fight anyone who attempts to set him or her free. The devil usually targets young people with obsessions because he wants to make them his slaves for life. When teenagers become obsessed with hard drugs, for example, they waste their youthful years on the unprofitable venture. Many of them lose their lives early, while those who manage to grow into adulthood are usually unable to start a fresh life unless God intervenes. Beloved, flee every inordinate affection. Don't allow the enemy to turn them into an obsession that will suck out your essence and destroy your future. Rather, be obsessed with God and His Word. This is what Jesus meant when He said that you should love the Lord with all your heart, soul, mind, and strength. Mark chapter 12, verse 30. Therefore, spend quality time with God, worshiping Him, praying, studying, and meditating on His Word daily. This is how to avoid or escape from inordinate affections and demonic obsession. The Lord will keep your mind at rest and bless you abundantly in Jesus' name. Key point: never allow yourself to be addicted to or obsessed with any person or thing besides God. Bible in 1 year, Leviticus chapters 19 through 21. Hymn for the day, hymn number 31. Yield not to temptation. Open Heavens Daily Devotional Guide was written by Pastor E.A. Adeboye, the General Overseer of the Redeemed Christian Church of God, and audio production by RCCG Open Heavens Parish, Orunshi, Stockton, California.
For you are glorious.